Good morning, everybody. I suppose you're intrigued with the title of this video, but the title is very pertinent to what I've been doing over recent days. Now, Friday was the full moon, and Friday evening I began cleaning up, tidying up. Well, it started with a tidy up, and then as I was going around, I could see cobwebs and dust cobwebs, and I got one of the brooms out, because I've got lots and lots of brooms. In fact, there's a broom in the lodge, there's one out in the barn. I'm forever sweeping up. But this is about sweeping up with intent. And the intention was to clear pathways. Anywhere where you walk, in your home or your garden or in your locality, is a pathway. And those pathways are filled with energy. Now, we know that energy can be very chaotic if not directed. So, Friday night, starting to clean up, starting to tidy up, it was a very unusual thing to do for me with the full moon rising, because normally with the full moon, I can become very drained and very listless and just wanting to recharge, just to sort of recharge my batteries. But I felt fully charged on Friday evening. So I started sweeping, tidying, removing cobwebs and sweeping the ceilings, and the corners and the cornices. And I was going hither and thither from one task to another. And eventually I went to bed. So that squeaky noise is my glasses. I've got my squeaky glasses on. I'm going to take them off, actually. Eventually I went to bed feeling quite satisfied that I'd opened the door to a cleaner, tidier, more energised cottage. I wasn't expecting on Saturday morning to get up feeling even more charged. So I changed the bed, I hoovered the bedroom, I got the broom and I cleared all the cobwebs and all the dust, and I got into all those wriggly, little corners that's very hard to kind of clear. I cleared all round here, all the pulled out, I pulled out cupboards and chests of drawers, and I swept and I swept, and I got all the cobwebs moved from up here, and so on and so forth. I went all the way through the cottage, and in the porch, because I've still got lots and lots of books stacked up there in the porch, which I have to move through to the lodge, but that's just a physically hard task to do. But I got all the sweeping done. I moved out onto the veranda. There's a few rose petals dropped this morning, because such is the way of these beautiful roses. And I tidied up the veranda. I moved all the furniture out from here, and I got another broom out, a broom with much harder bristles, and I swept. And then I washed, I did some washing, so I took my jacket, that jacket's about 12 years old now, but it's my favourite rain jacket and wind cheater jacket, and I got that scrubbed. I took it to the kitchen sink and scrubbed it. And then I took my favourite dress, my linen dress, the Kandinsky print, and I washed that and hung it up here to dry. And I washed the little, I have a little scarf that goes with it. And then I got all the geraniums all sorted out. I moved this old desk out here and sorted out all the geraniums. The geraniums are starting to flower, by the way, which are beautiful. And then I tidied up over here on this veranda. This went on and on the entire day. I couldn't stop. The energy was so powerful. And I kept going and going and going. By the way, everybody, Look at all these rosebuds across my rose. This is the one that I transplanted, so I'm just so delighted. And all the beautiful foxgloves are out, and look at the lettuce there in that pot. Everything is thriving. There's even some strawberries have come up there by the roses, and look, nasturtiums as well. And of course that's because of all the seeds in the compost. So this energy just kept going. I kept moving with it. I really embraced the energy. I couldn't quite explain it because, as I said, normally, you know, with the full moon, I am just beleaguered with tiredness. But this time round I wasn't. Of course, this is the moon coming up to the midsummer solstice, which again is a very powerful time. And it's just the air is charged with vitality. That's what it is. Look, I was cutting down some of the rose as well on the veranda just for that tidy up, you know. And look at those figs up there. Aren't they amazing? But yeah, the whole air, the whole nature of Earth here in the Northern Hemisphere is so charged with vitality, and you can see it. It has manifested. You've got this incredible manifestation of energy. It's so visual. You know, there is something so magical about being able to see the actual energy that has manifested. So then I come out into the gardens, and you can see I was just doing a little bit of pruning, so you can see the full archway there now. And I come out around the fire pit, and I looked, and look, little ash trees coming up. Isn't this crazy? Because of course the ash trees are all dying, but now they're coming up. And all the seeds that I scattered in around this area, do you remember a few weeks back? Look at all the way these beautiful wildflower seeds are coming up. Masses of poppies. This is going to be awash with poppies in the coming weeks. So, oh, it was just the most amazing surge of energy. Now, today, thus far, has been very interesting because what's happened, I got up this morning thinking, okay, that was that. What's next? And I feel as though there's been this most wonderful opening. Literally, there has been a portal opened. I can now begin to see beyond the midsummer. I can almost see into July and August. And of course there's been some rain. And one of the things I did yesterday, I climbed up into the loft to check the water tank, because we've had some rain, not an awful lot of rain, but we've had enough to refresh the earth here at Bealtaine Cottage. But what did I find? I found a full tank of water, which again has bewildered me, because I don't understand how the little spring well up there on the hill has generated enough water from the aquifer to fill the tank in the loft. I don't understand how that's worked, and I'm not really going to question it, because it has worked. It's never ever done that before. In the 16 years I've lived here, there's never been a situation, and we've had drought each year, where I've gone from nothing in the tank to a full tank with so little rainfall. There we go. Look at all these apples. Aren't these amazing? Like, the trees are just covered in apples. And again, you know, you'd expect to have a lot of fruit drop, but that hasn't happened this year. It's as though every apple, every blossom that was fertilised by the bees has turned into a fruit. And every apple tree here in the gardens is the same. Now, I'm going to just point you to all that white blossom over there. That's the pyracantha. Crazy. And this is such a fruitful, bountiful year. And yet, what I'm hearing through social media, worldwide reports, they say that there's going to be a food shortage this year. There's absolutely no food shortage here at Bealtaine Cottage. Every tree, every bush, I mean, look, you can see all these black currants. You can see all the apples. You've seen the quantities of rhubarb that have come up here. You can see all the herbs and all the fruit and nuts, and this food forest has just been incredibly bountiful. So it's that same old thing that I'm aware of, that Bealtaine Cottage is a place apart. Why is it a place apart? Is it because it is in harmony with Mother Earth? Is it because Mother Earth is happy here? Because she's been looked after and regarded as the highest intelligence? Where she's enabled to do her own thing? I mean, this little rose bush which I've transplanted only a couple of months ago, not only has it come back to life and you know, transplanted well, it's now covered with rosebuds. There's hundreds of them. And these little flowers, I mean, these little flowers have been here since January. Still flowering. No rhyme or reason to it. So I suppose this little video is about energy. Look at all these grapes. Look at all these grapes that are setting. All this food. Look at the kale there in the basket now. There's so much food, and food is created through the energy work of Mother Earth. So cleaning the pathways, clearing the pathways, allowing everything to manifest, not stopping it. Allows us to be enablers. So I think that was the real story behind the witch's broom. It is the woman enabling Mother Earth. It is the woman clearing the pathways, sweeping up, saying, they're open now. Everything is open. Come on in. Come on in. You're welcome. There is a bigger picture, a much, much bigger picture. And that bigger picture, I think, is about the energy of change, the energy behind enabling change, the energy behind encouraging change, and the thoughtfulness of keeping what's good and allowing in on clean surfaces, on clean areas, allowing in the new, the vibrant, the abundant. And up there's a beautiful blackbird singing on a little branch. Blessings to you all. So thanks for watching this video. This is my motto: plant like your life depends on it, for it does. And this is what's happened here at Bealtaine Cottage over the past 16 years. I've spent all that time planting and co-creating with Mother Earth, finally writing some books about it. And you'll find a link to the bookshop just below this video. And here are some pictures of how it all looked in the beginning. Haven't changed the cottage much, but I have planted over 1,100 trees. So the land has now been restored. And it's beautiful.